Hello, this is Yahweasel, this is Radical Dreamers. The last time we beat ending 5, and chat basically has decided I'm not even going to find one more ending, let alone all of them. And I don't anticipate finding all of them, but, I mean, give me some credit. I like story-based games. Like, story-based games are what I do. Le fast. Okay. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to fast forward because let's not immediately fall asleep. Like, I don't want to fast forward because it's unclear what has and hasn't changed. It's too dangerous to fall asleep now. Get a name for this sort of thing, but I can't seem to remember it at the moment. Man, that was close. Shaking my head, I try to stay alert. Still, all this is really something. Walking through a forest like this at night, on a night like tonight. It's too bad I can't read. It would really help. Reminds me so much of the first time I bumped into her. It's been something like 3 years since Kid and I met. Back then I was a drifter. Okay, I think this is... Yup. Yep, this is the same. Yep, okay. This is the same as the first playthrough. Okay, this went differently. How did we end up on this path? This is weird. Well, once you fall off a horse, it's hard to get back on. I just can't play music anymore. Life is like a stone on the side of a hill. If it comes loose, there's really no chance of it stopping until it's tumbled all the way to the bottom. What are you talking about? Like you're saying we're messing up your life just by being here. Whoop. How did you know what I was thinking, kid? Because you were saying it, not... because you were saying it, not thinking it, Magil says from behind. Oh no, what have I been saying? You don't like being with us, why don't you do us a favor and take a hike, huh? We could do just fine without a third wheel, Kid shouts, stomping away angrily. Kid, wait up, I call out, running after her. Hey, what's that bright flash over there, Kid suddenly asks, pointing towards a thicket in front of us. Huh, I don't see anything. I look around closely, but all I see is a bunch of trees and rocks extending on into the darkness. It was a bright flash, it was right over there, I tell ya. Yeah, go check it out. That seems like a different path. I walk over beside Kid, trying to see whatever it was she saw. Magil approaches as well a moment later. We're already fairly deep into Lord Lynx's territory, he says. It's dangerous to start blindly wandering around. You are aware of that fact, are you not? However, Kid doesn't budge an inch, keeping her eyes on the bush. Do you feel something here? Magil asks, changing his expression a moment later. Kid's eyes meet Magil's for a moment, but before long she returns her focus to the forest. And there, in the bush, is the frozen flame! So be it, he finally says. If we are intended to stray from the path, this might prove to be worth something in its own regard. But before Magil even finishes speaking, Kid bolts, disappearing into the trees. Hey, wait up! Be careful, Serge. Foul things lie down this path. Nodding, this story path. I cautiously start to make my way through the trees. The notion that I'm not going to get a different ending here is ridiculous. Obviously, I'm already on my way to a different ending. Much to my surprise, we're able to find it right away. Turns out to be a beautiful beetle, colored solid gold, perched on a high tree limb. The golden beetle, Kid cries out, climbing up the large tree. The beetle certainly glitters like real gold. Kid seems quite caught up in the sight. No, not caught up in the sight, rather caught up in the greed, I should say. Man, she's fast. She's already... Oh, who said that? Maybe I said that. She's already climbed up about 5 or 6 times my height, heavily baited with hopes of gold. Aha! Kid catches it, but almost instantly the beetle shakes free, buzzing out of her hand. Wait, she yells, reaching out her hand further and further, hoping to catch the golden insect, but suddenly she loses her balance and falls, trying to catch her. Hold on, I yell, leaping forward. But then she begins to curl herself into a small ball, spinning around in midair like a cannonball. Yeah, she's more talented than you are. This is bad. She'll knock both of us out if I have to catch her like that. Seeing this, I jump out of the way, fearing for my life. However, Kid opens herself up mere feet from the ground, gracefully landing as nimble as a cat. Of course she does. She doesn't seem hurt in the least. If I hadn't run, she probably would have landed flat on my face. Kid. Wait, my beetle, she yells, continuing to chase after it without even acknowledging us. Relentlessly chasing the beetle as she plunges deeper and deeper into the forest. We follow after, desperately trying to keep her in sight. For all I know, it could be the golden beetle or just another common insect. However, we're so deep in the forest now, I can't see anything but an endless assortment of dark trees and jagged rocks, stretching out in every direction. I doubt Kid herself can even see the beetle at this point. How could she still be tracking it? As soon as I start to ask myself this, I realize what she'd tell me, intuition. Suddenly, Kid stops in a clearing. Did you find it? Nah, I found something gold, but it ain't the golden beetle. I look over Kid's shoulder. There, in a small spot of light, stands a tall golden plant. My first impression is that it's a sunflower, but those don't usually bloom at night, do they? What? This is such a... there's such a path of options here that I feel like everything is going to change the outcome. What is this thing? Jeez, you're thick as ever. There's something special about this thing. Can't you feel it? Everything is gold in this forest! I close my eyes, trying to get one of those feelings she's always talking about. Concentrate! I close my eyes, trying to concentrate. So, do you feel anything? Well, I feel a little tired. Not that kind of feeling, you dummy, she says angrily, slapping me upside the head so hard that I see red. I have to admit, I haven't had much experience being intuitive, especially while being beaten up. I try to wonder what she can possibly be feeling all the way out here in the middle of nowhere. I walk around the enormous plant, taking another look at it, but then suddenly... What the... We're fighting the Incan Empire as represented in a plant! A face suddenly emerges in the center of the flower. It's a ghastly sight, complete with drunken, drowsy eyes, purple eyelashes, thick pink lips, a long bent nose. What is it, Magil? Sorry, sometimes you have to make choices quickly, so I'm just gonna make choices quickly when I might have to. Apparently unfazed by the strange sight, Magil calmly starts to rack his brain. Oh, what was this sort of thing called? He says. He strokes his chin, going into a sort of quiet trance. Magil's gotten a lot more talkative recently. In my first playthrough, he was 100% not talkative. In the next playthrough, he's, talked a bit. Now he's a downright chatty Cathy. I sure hope he remembers soon. Does it matter? The sunflower is just standing there. It's not threatening us. That's Magil for you, though. He's got a head full of knowledge, wiser than most I've ever met. However, it takes him a good bit of time to remember certain things, and until he remembers, he'll remain completely useless. He's led us into a danger a few times because of that. Yeah, there goes the battle. Bonjour, mademoiselle. Wait, it can talk, too? In a horrific, downright racist French accent? Madam what? Kid asks, smirking. Oh, ma chérie, I was just sneaking a peek at your petite breast. I hope that you are not angry. What? Get your eyes off of me. Oh, my sweet mademoiselle, how young and feisty you are, the sunflower answers back playfully. I would like to apologize to France and everyone who speaks French and everyone else. You perverted freak of nature! Watch what you say around me, Kid says as she flashes her dagger, dangling down at her side. Kid squaring off with a sunflower. Now I've seen it all. Oh, my darling, perhaps you and I should confess somewhere a bit more private. Suddenly, Kid whips out her dagger, slashing clean through the sunflower's stalk. Yeah! Its blaring screech is as excruciating to hear as 100 hands simultaneously scratching down a chalkboard. It's the nails, not the hands, just to throw that out there. Just a hand wiping down a chalkboard. Not really that annoying. I feel faint. My knees are going to buckle if I hear any more French. But then suddenly, oh, you must not be so violent, my sweet-chested filet. That tickles. Somehow another sunflower has instantly sprouted and replaced the one that was cut down, perfectly identical to its predecessor. Bastard! Kid shouts, slashing her dagger through the air once again. Yeah! More and more of that awful screech fills the air, but then, moments later, no, I am not yet married, but if you insist. Boy, she's big on, killing sunflowers, huh? Kid continues hacking away, tearing down every new sunflower that pops up. However, for every one she mows down, 2 or 3 instantly sprout up in its place. Oh, good, a hydra of sunflowers. All this screeching, I can't take it any longer. Stop, Kid, please! Stop, Kid, I shout, trying to intervene. However, she heatedly shoves me aside, becoming more and more infuriated as she hacks through the never-ending crop of sunflowers. Kid! Come on! I shout, trying to shake her, but she only shrugs me off as she continues to whack away at the sunflowers, getting more and more infuriated. Oh, ma chérie, why must you shake your puny little sword at moi? We do not need such love games. With the sweet feeling we have for each other, there is no use for violence. Ne sais pas. Kid's face turns redder and redder as she buries herself further into the sunflower patch. Oh, I remember now, Magil says, finally snapping out of it. This is what's known as a Parisian. Please do It's what's known as a Mandora monster. Please do not make the mistake of trying to cut it down. Magil? I point to the humongous crop of sunflowers where Kid has now resorted to gripping one of the sunflower's shock and shaking it with both hands. However, the sunflower does not but laugh down at her. Suddenly, all around us, the ground starts to tremble and quake. Dirt loosens as the ground gives way, creating a sort of quicksand beneath our feet. I leap back instantly, but I then realize Kid's in the thick of it, ignoring everything except the sunflowers. Kid! I yell, but it's too late. She's caught up in the entanglement of stalks. After a moment, she slips and falls on the unstable ground, getting swallowed up into the newly formed pit beneath her. Oh wow, is this an ending where Kid just dies? I try to go after her, but just as I approach the patch, a great number of plants and vines quickly shoot up around Kid, blocking me. Then suddenly a mess of vines leap out at me, trying to wrap themselves around my arms and legs. However, I feel a set of strong arms take hold of me and jerk back almost immediately. Oh, sorry. I feel a set of strong arms take hold of me and jerk me back almost immediately. Thanks, Magil. There's no time to lose. Run! But Kid! I know! Running up onto a nearby hill, I stop for a moment and look back. The whole mess is nothing but a billowing cloud of dust now. All I can make out are a multitude of vines waving crazily in the air. I can neither see nor hear Kid. Yeah, don't run back in! That's like real dumb. Call out to her. Kid! Kid! I call out again and again to no avail. I want to rush in there and help her, but... death? After a minute or two, the dust starts to settle. Hey, what's that? A large silhouette is starting to appear from out of the dust cloud. It's big, a lot bigger than what was there before. As the figure is gradually exposed to the moonlight, I start to see a more defined shape. Kid! This thing, whatever it is easily 7 or 8 times my height. Its body seems to resemble a gorilla's. Its exposed muscles are wrapped in ivy, and its digits remind me of a pointed shellfish. Golden sunflower petals are lined up on the back of its neck. However, instead of a head, it's her. Kid stark naked. Naked except for the bra. Upper body has been fused into the top of the monster. Other than 2 small sunflowers covering her chest, she's wearing nothing at all. So, naked except for the part that one would normally cover. Serge, listen to me. The Mandora monster has fused with Kid. We must save her quickly, otherwise she'll be lost forever, consumed by her own hate. Serge, quit gawking and pay attention! What? She's going to die? I frantically try to think of what to do. It's hard, though. I can't seem to take my eyes off those 2 sunflowers. Oh, God, what a twit. How do I save her? Calm down. There is a way. The monster has managed to intertwine itself with Kid because of her strong sentiments of anger. Unless we separate Kid from her anger, we will be unable to save her. Oh, God, this is... Okay. So on all the other paths, there are these moments where it's like... there are these moments where it's like, let's bring in a hormonal 15-year-old to write the dialogue for a bit. I'm betting we are just diving headlong into that path right now. How do we do that? With love. Love? Yes, it's the only way. I shall go and make preparations. In the meantime, protect Kid's body and show her love. Also, you must prevent her from using any magic. In her current state, the more she gets... Since when does she have magic? Magic isn't a thing that she has. What are you talking about? What? Kid can't use magic. Yeah, that's what I thought. She can now. How can this be happening? Serge, show her your love! Magil says, leaving me with those words as he sinks into a nearby shadow. Wait, Magil! Magia! Oh, this is so... I am going to despise every second of this. I am going to hate this. Alone and afraid, I look up at the huge atrocity as I shudder in the chilly nighttime breeze. Love? I couldn't think of a more awkward place to think about love. The sound of the word makes me cringe as it dances through my mind. This is the voice I use when I'm mocking terrible writing. While lost in thought, I suddenly hear a soft muttering from far above. You say they're small. That's gonna be about her breasts, isn't it? Jesus Christ. They're not small, I tell ya. Others are big. Too big. Yeah, God... Why this game? Stop making fun of me. Stop making fun of me. I'll kill you all! Kid cries out madly, her eyes filled with flames of rage. Suddenly, her gaze shifts towards me. The monster instantly lashes. Jump back! I instantly jump back just as the giant hammer comes crashing down, kicking up heaps of dirt and sand with a ground-shaking thud. Kid, it's me, Serge! I call out to her, waving my arms wildly. However, the only reaction I get is of increasing anger. Just then, I start to hear a low voice cry out from beyond a nearby hill. What's going on over there? Oh no, goblins! Look, it's the Mandora! What's got it all acting up? This is how goblins talk, apparently. Noticing the goblins, the monster begins to moan. Kid's cheeks puff up, and then suddenly... the sun explodes. Oops. Supernova. Game ends. Kid sends a giant fireball streaking out of her mouth, crashing into the goblins. It instantly reduces them to ashes. Damn it, magic, I say to myself as Magil's warning flashes through my head. Finished with the goblin, the monster suddenly remembers me, turning around, shout, I love you! I can't help but feel embarrassed professing my love to a hulking monster who's ready to kill me. I nervously shout, I love you! Up into the night sky, hoping she'll hear me. Suddenly, the monster starts to draw closer and closer to me. Did I do it? Is she coming back to reality? This is so dumb. It is real dumb. No, really doesn't look like it. Help! I run and hide, plunging into the deep, dark labyrinth of the wilderness. However, behind me, I can hear the thunderous sounds of trees being crushed and boulders being broken. I continue to run as the gigantic monster chases after me. Well, I mean, that's what you do when a gigantic monster is chasing you. I've been running for at least 5 straight minutes now, dodging trees and jumping logs. I'm starting to lose my breath. Just as I begin to think I can't run anymore, the end of the forest comes into view. However, as I come to the clearing, lined up before me is a troop of fearless-looking goblins. They're carrying a huge cannon with them, easily 20 feet tall. I try not to think of how easily I'd be obliterated if I ever accidentally stood in its path, or was forced to stand in its path, for that matter. Ah, they're gonna destroy the thing, and I had to stop them, and also love, and blah, 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 blah. There, lock on target, shouts a goblin. Oh, great. Let's try and tell him what's happening. I collapse at the goblin's feet, out of breath. Goblin leader, decked in a full suit of iron armor, sporting Lynx's insignia, comes over towards me. Glares at me with piercing, intimidating eyes, so it's ready to whip out its mace if I do as much as breathe the wrong way. I really don't know about this, turning to goblins for help, but I've got no other choice. Please, help me save my friend! Goblin guard stares at me blankly. I continue, gasping for air between sentences. We were chasing after this beetle, but then a sunflower suddenly appeared, captured my friends, and started to chase me through the forest. Please, you have to help us! She's the most important thing in the world to me! The goblin's eyes relax. Was that right? Your friend was captured. I understand. We'll help you. Don't worry. Squeal like a pig. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Boy, I'm sure glad I didn't judge this book by its cover. However, just as I say this, or think it, apparently. And how much would this lovely beetle of kid sell for, That voice! Suddenly the goblin shouts out, What? Your friend is that crooked thief, kid? A wave of shock goes through me. Just when things were starting to seem okay for once. I try to see behind the goblin, searching for that strangely familiar voice, the one that sounded just like the sunflowers. However, all I can make out is some sort of strange psychedelic light emanating from behind the troop. The light seems to be coming from a figure, whoever or whatever it is. As he makes his way through the crowd, I finally get a good look at him. His hairstyle reminds me of a tall green chimney, and his red and green pinstripe costume is like that of Santa Claus, or a harlequin. An over-the-top long purple cape drags behind him as he approaches me. And I tell you what, I think we're going to see this new friend next time. Until then, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, join us on Discord at Yahweasel.com/Discord. Cheers from Yahweasel.